We will go ahead and get started this evening. I got a number of announcements, and so I want to take care of those before we head off into our devotional thought. First up, we had Wayne Pruitt give us his update on his work in Guyana, and that was a wonderful time for those that heard it. And then also, I want to mention Rick Whittle, the preacher over at Spanish Fort. As many of you probably have heard, he has been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and it has metastasis into his liver. So be praying for the Whittle family and the Spanish Fort congregation. Also, Ray and Misty send their love from Florence. Titus Camp is off and running and doing wonderful things, and he is going to be listening in to the Bible class this evening. So hope you're doing well, Ray, and we'll be glad to see you back. Other than that, please be sure to keep those on our prayer list in your thoughts and prayers, as well as sending cards and visits to those that are shut in. And there's no shortage of prayers that you could have. There's no shortage of people that you can visit. And there's no shortage of individuals out in the community that you can share a smile with. So even though it's rainy and bleak outside today, the sun is shining here in the Lord's church. So let's enjoy our devotional thought together. Let's enjoy our singing. And let's open our hearts and our minds towards the classes and the reading of His Word.
739. 739. I'm on the lapel mic. There we go. Don't forget the last Saturday. It's the 29th, I think. That's our young adult activity at the house. It's luau themed. If you think you're a young adult, you are. So come on, because I'll be there. So I think I'm a young adult still. And the youth have a Sunday dinner and Devo this Sunday at Lawrence. Is that correct, Brandon? Yeah, dinner and Devo at Lawrence this Sunday night. And so I want to remember that as well. But young adults, be making your plans. I was thinking today when Hunter asked me a couple of days ago about doing the Devo, what I might do this about. I'm at a certain point in life. It's kind of like chapters are being written in your life. And I used to look at some of you people and think, y'all are old. Man, that Joe Gill.
I'm older now.
He's old. I'd look, Jeff Waller. Wow, how does he even get around? Do you need help? I look at you people. I would look out in this crowd and I would say, look at all these old people. And I look around and then I go look in the mirror and I say, I look just like them. What? What is happening? Some of these people even got more hair than I do. I mean, how do these old people, how do they have less wrinkles and more hair and all this stuff than I do? What happened to that chapter of my life? I think back, and it wasn't too long ago when I was sitting with the teenagers. I was sitting with the group, and I remember back, and you remember when you had your boyfriend or your girlfriend in the youth group, and you would cross your arms so you could hold hands like this, where nobody could see you, and you're like, oh, she's touching my hand. I remember those times. I remember back in Little League, I remember playing with John Weeks one time. Michael and John Weeks, they were my neighbors. We hit the ball. Or somebody else hit the ball, actually. I was already on base. John hit the ball. He was fast. I never was real fast, but John, he could fly. Here we come around, and the third baseman standing in the way. This was before they put in the rules for all the kids that couldn't stand to get hurt. And I plowed the third baseman. I knocked him down, and I went round in third, and I ran home. And that kid finally struggles to get back up, and I told you John was fast. By the time he got on both feet, John plowed that kid. He rounded third, and he comes sliding into home, and the kid just stayed down there and cried. I remember those times. I remember those times in my life. I'd say, hey, hand me my drink. It's at the end of the bench. Every kid took a drink out of it before it finally got to me. And we didn't think anything about it. We just drank it again. I remember those times in my life. I remember in high school, guys. I remember all the times that I used to be able to play sports and do all those different things in high school. I remember boyfriend and girlfriend days. I remember all the fun times I had in school. I don't remember much about the test. That probably would have helped if I'd have studied more for them. But I remember all the other stuff. And then I look at the chapter that I'm in. I look at all the chapters in between. I look at the things that have happened in life. I went from all these, what at the time I didn't realize how much fun they actually were. Until I get to the point where I'm like, man, I remember back when I used to play. But now this old knee, this is the only thing between keeping me from, a major league contract next year. I still got the arm, but this old knee. Children of Israel, 40 years in the wilderness. Well, that's a long chapter. That's a long chapter of life. That's a long time to be sitting there saying, if things ever going to get better? This is miserable. It's so hot, so miserable. More of this bread and birds. King David has the relationship he shouldn't have with Bathsheba. Has to go through all the trying times, all the times that are put ahead with that child. It's a hard chapter of life. Job, man, he had everything. We sit there and we think about, oh man, if I only had this, if I only had that. Job had it all. And it just starts disappearing one by one. Everything's gone. What a chapter of life. But how things changed for each one of them. The Israelites then inherited the land that God had promised them. Job has gotten double of everything that he lost. David goes on to be a man after God's own heart and one of the greatest kings we know. There's the thief on the cross who lived a horrible life. He was deserving to be on that cross, hanging beside our Lord. And our Lord had done nothing wrong. And he looks at him and he looks at the other one who's mocking and scourging. And he says, do you not have any remorse? Do you not realize that this man doesn't deserve to be here, but we are rightfully here? Lord, remember me when you enter into your kingdom. Today thou shalt be with me in paradise. Boy, what a different chapter of life. Your current situation, I read today. I read this quote and I wanted to share it with you. Your current situation is not your final destination. Your failures, your hardships, your trials, your troubles, your health scares, your family affairs, whatever it may be, that doesn't have to define you. That doesn't have to be who you are.